What happens here does matter. It does matter. Spirit in the flesh, head in the stars, feet on the earth. Okay? Being awake means being out of ego identification and ego attachment. So, what are these things? What is the state of ego identification? This is the identifying with the role that we are playing in the world of the flesh, in the world of matter. So, these are the people who think, I am my blank, fill in the blank. I am my relationships. I am my social status. I am my job. I am my profession. I am my country. Okay? Well, is that how you identify? You know, if somebody asks you, what are you? Who are you? You know, do you say, I am my job? I mean, I do the work of public presenting. I do the work of going on the radio and hosting a talk show. Am I that? I mean, for a short bio, I could describe I do these things. So I could say I'm a radio show host. But do I really think that's what I am? No. I'm consciousness, having an experience to learn and grow. That's what I am. You know? But when we identify with the roles, then we become attached to them. And that makes change very, very difficult for most people. And you know, you got endless ones. You go on and on. We can go on and on for days with these. You know, are you just your job? You know, are you what you do on a day-to-day basis? Are you even your thoughts? You know, are you the roles that you play? Are you the things that the positions that you take up in our culture, in our operating system? You know? Many people think they are these things. They're very attached to that position. They would have no identity without those positions, in many cases. What's ego attachment about? It's really about one thing, the inability to admit that we are wrong. So we don't want to look at anything new. You know, the ego in the New Age community is often talked about as like, I can't see myself as a distinct individual. That's not what being in ego means. Okay? If I don't see myself as a distinct individual, I wouldn't recognize that if I want a sip of this water, that I have to tilt it to my mouth and not someone else's mouth. Okay? That's what the ego is for. So I could operate in the physical domain. You know, the ego is about, I know that if I want to put a laser pointer right here on this guy in this cage, I have to pick up this device and press this button. The ego makes that possible. It facilitates that, and it's not really anything more than that. It's a tool through which we can operate with the material realm. That's all. Okay? It doesn't mean the ego needs to be eradicated. It's a tool. The problem is when the ego says, I'm setting up and taking over the whole house. That's when the ego becomes a problem. Because now we're attached to it and we believe that's us. Okay? So what does the ego do? It keeps us in a mind prison. It keeps us in the dark. It keeps us in ignorance. That's what that force is. It's a force that works through fear to keep us in the dark, to keep us in ignorance. Okay? Not accepting any new information. It does this two ways. Ego attachment keeps people in fear and ignorance by holding them in two modes of thought. The first mode of thought is, I couldn't possibly be wrong about what I believe that I already know. Could not possibly be wrong about that. This is religious thought. It's also scientific dogmatic thought, rigid skepticism. See, it's both of those worldview imbalances, again. Left brain and right brain imbalance. All right? The second way that ego attachment keeps us in ignorance, the second modality of thought it keeps us in is, I don't want to know. So either I already have all the information I need and I know, and I couldn't possibly be wrong about what I say I know, or I don't want to know. Okay? Those are the two ways the ego holds us in that state of mental bondage. Ego ultimately prevents us from admitting that we were wrong about anything and from learning anything new. Now, from the level of consciousness I used to be at to the level of consciousness I'm at today, I must have had to say I was wrong about 100,000 times. Easily. And I'm sure before it's all said and done in this particular lifetime, I'll say it 100,000 more times. Next point of what it means to truly be awake. It involves exercising discernment and judgment. And these are things that the New Age community will tell you, no, that's not about what it means to be awake. Don't judge. Don't try to be discerning. Okay? Highly, highly important. So let's look at these modalities. What is discernment or judgment? It is our inherent ability to distinguish reality from illusion. Or in other words, to know the truth. It's being able to judge the difference between two or more things is what makes us say, well, this one is more in harmony with truth. And that's the path I should take. You know, it's our navigation system. I put images of a scale here. It's how we weigh things in the balance to understand what's better. What is a better choice at this particular time?